So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the next damn reaction, shall we? So let's talk about it. Everything that failed Gen Z. So without further ado, let's get into the next video, y'all. Let's do it.
I'm no stranger to talking about the absolute bullshit that goes on with every generation. And as society starts to advance, there's always a guarantee of a new generation that's worse than the last. So today we're going to be talking about things that ruined our generation and put us on an unequivocal downfall. And honestly, I'm kind of realizing that I have way
don't be
too many
offended.
videos on generations and shit. So this is going to be the last one for a while. Buckle in. The first one is a social media app that houses the most beautiful. Okay, cut the drum roll. It's TikTok. I don't think anyone should be surprised by this. Now, coming from someone who started making content,
I want to wholeheartedly with my chest say this, that this man's content, I think he's a boxer. I don't find it funny. I just don't find this man funny. I think the word it is I would love to use that starts with a C. I can't say that on here, but that's something it is I want to use. Is I can't stand it between him, the big beefy guy that be going around dancing and just like extendo spanning the jaw in order to eat food and stuff like that. This doesn't resonate to me. I just find it weird. It is only 30 miles per hour on the street. Where you going? I just don't find this funny. Like, oh, what's good, King Ace? How you doing, gang? I just don't find this person funny. Like, I just don't. I'm not interested in seeing you acting like a fucking fool for some food, bro. Like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love me some sushi, but you don't see me bucking the eyes and shit for this. Like,
content on TikTok with the famous Charlie D'Amelio and managed to escape the "Hey, ain't you that nigga on TikTok?" allegations. Actually, I do still get that, but I'll take it as a compliment that you know me from somewhere. I can't fully start off with hate on the Brain Dead app. Like, there is things I've learned that are actually useful.
How to not get fucked in the ass.
I know all the memes about kids' attention
I hate that nigga's videos, bro. Fuck.
span being fraud to the
The
max
game is
are
game.
mostly jokes. But I genuinely think governments somewhere need to do some test studies of this stuff because it can't be okay. If I was growing up as a kid with unlimited content I could scroll forever with until the end of time, I probably would have sat there like the Gen Alpha kids too, honestly. I really knew this.
See, and this is the reason why the government is trying to ban TikTok now. Let me scroll on to the timeline in peace, gang. Like, why we gotta go ahead and do all this extra shit? Let me just be at peace with my timeline. Fudge.
Attention span was a problem when I would be talking with some of my friends in a Discord, and at the slightest pause or stop of our conversation, I hear the loudest blast of TikTok sounds blasting my ear because a nigga doesn't know how to mute his mic. It's like someone who has to get their vape hit in the next 5 minutes or they'll start going insane. And speaking of vaping, man, I really thought this smoking was gonna be nipped in the bud with our generation. But not only has it gotten worse, people be considering you a loser if you don't do it. Like, when did we get to the point in this generation that if you're sober and hanging out with friends somewhere, you're a boring person? If you're genuinely one of those people that makes fun of someone for just wanting to be sober hanging out somewhere, you're a loser. But the main thing I think of vaping is, y'all never got scared of those smoking ads they would play on TV as a kid? You know, the ones with the lady and the hole in her neck who would always be going like, "Here's how we go on the night. First you gotta put the voice box to your throat. I walk in the kitchen to make a sandwich." That gave me some psychological scars, dude. Like, I know she definitely dropped dead a year after those ads. So for you vaping fiends right now, that's the future I hope y'all are prepared for. I'm gonna be trying to put in some golf balls into them holes in y'all's necks. It should never be to the point where kids use their bathroom breaks in school to hit their vapes. This is why our education is on an absolute spike of a downfall. At least back then, when kids would smoke cigarettes, everyone in a 5-mile radius would catch the smell. With vapes as purified air, the most you're smelling is mango flavor, so you're not getting caught. That means little Timmy—
Chill, because I had a mango vape. Thank you very much. I mean, I used to. Like, last year, I definitely would vape here and there. But, and I've been to a couple of hookah spots as well. Yeah, I have dibbled and dabbled into it. But is it something is that I do on my normal? No. And there's a vape spot that's right by me too. Like you could get a nice vape or even across the street. You can get a nice little vape for like under $20 type shit. But it's just not something it isn't like I do consecutively. Like I've done it, but it's just not like, oh yeah, I'm about to like really go ahead and just out and like chow down on this entire like fucking vape. Like, nah, it's not that serious.
He who starts vaping in 4th grade is going to continue until his inevitable death at 30 years old. The next thing we got is OnlyFans. Y'all know how grandmothers and great-grandmothers are seen as the most wholesome figures of existence?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not do that. Because if that's the case, then how come it is that one of my grandmothers is from a fucking side chick, a side outside of the fucking marriage it is that it was originally supposed to be, and how come it is with my grandfather he's 11 out of 12 fucking kids. Somebody was out here fucking, and you can't sit there and say it is that. Like, no, don't do that. Don't sit there and say it is that the grandmas be out here is the most wholesome thing ever, because they had a life too. They had a life well before. Is that Miss Philly Phil? Hi, Philly. Now, we can't say all that. Just because we didn't have the level of social media back then, when it is like our grandparents was a lot younger, doesn't mean it is they wasn't out here doing what needed to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like, mermaid, you wouldn't sell some toes, ma'am? It all depends. Hey, listen, if somebody was just be like, hey, listen, like, I'm trying to see some feet, I'm be like, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell them the Cash App. I'm gonna tell them the Cash I'm gonna tell them the Cash App and go ahead, you know what I'm saying? But this is why I'm just like, listen, don't sit there and sleep on these grandmas, bro. These grandmas out here was living their life, and grandfathers too. There was a lot. Ari would sell mermaid fins. You got it.
Sitting in rocking chairs and knitting sweaters and baking cookies. I've really been thinking in the future, what the f are grandmothers gonna be looked at like? Like, are they gonna be sitting in rocking chairs and telling the little kids the story of how back in 2024 they took big black number 7 at the Skyline View of Miami, and how you should always enjoy the beauty of life because in that moment I did. At the same time, I can't really hate on them chasing an obvious bag in their face, and the dudes who buy the OnlyFans are actually all to blame, really. But my god, these OnlyFans are so unstandable. One of my safest havens on the internet is meme pages I follow online. And every time I see one of these OnlyFans hoes randomly pop up in a meme page I'm following, I immediately want to go berserk. Like, I'm not trying to see your full asshole spread in a meme page I'm following called Cute Funny Dog Memes. People would already be on their incognito tabs if they wanted to see that. And the fact that it's just commonplace for a girl to open an OnlyFans on her 18th birthday is weird. Cause I hope these girls know the dudes that are buying these when they turn 18 are not in their age range. They already know how to work the system for free. It's old ass dudes sitting there with sweat dripping from their face just waiting for the day to pop up. Your whole life being ruined before it even started is crazy. She could legit still be in high school and have that open. And unless you're a celebrity or famous, then yeah, you're not making any money from that OnlyFans. Shout out to all the women in my life who chose the path of working hard careers and getting where they are. Because you could have got a bad spawn like being Lana Rhodes' kid or an upcoming Bad Baby's kid. I could put a parlay.
Hey, listen, you can say whatever it is you want to say about that, Bad Barbie's kid, but that kid probably is coming into the gate with some money on, bro. I mean, I hear you with the level of like, women working hard and getting to where it is that they need to be and stuff like that. All right, cool. I'm not the morality police. I'm not gonna get on these women it is who do OnlyFans, who do adult content and stuff like that. Like, niggas do bitch about this level of stuff, but who is watching, who's buying the content? Niggas. At the end of the day, bro. Like, it's niggas. So that's why I'm like, I hear you, but I don't at the same time. Because if you really wasn't fucking with it, you wouldn't be watching any type of content, anything like that. You get what I'm saying? There's niggas it is that goes even as far as to go into twitch.tv to find some level of content and putting it is the money and everything like that. That could be considered into the pimp, but switch the P with a S word, if you will. So Like, all right, like let's call it to what it is, bro. You just don't have a level of control to what it is that like what's going on. That's why it is that you go ahead and be like, oh, my girl could never be able to do this, and this. That's where it stems from. I'm gonna keep it a being. Starting off at 18 is insane. Like you didn't even try to live a little. I do agree with that, and it makes it a little weird to like niggas waited until it is that they was 18 to go ahead and get onto that content. Kind of like what happened with Bad Barbie anyway. Hi, Steel. So that's why I'm like, y'all waited for this little girl to turn 18. That means it is y'all was been on some predatory type of shit.
Bet that them kids are probably not making it alive past the age of 12. And since we're speaking of OnlyFans, let's talk about the OnlyFans for men male podcast. I've already made videos on both of these already, so I'm not gonna go too in depth. But at this point, there is nothing to say on a male podcast already that's already been said. Ever since these started popping off, I've already heard the same things every time. To be a high value man, you need six figures and a man cheating as a woman is not the same. If you cry in front of your girl, you might as well get a divorce. The milk's been sucked out the cow's titties, man. You gotta venture into something else. And I think it's kind of falling off, and dudes are realizing that maybe watching male podcasts all day instead of actually going outside and getting some is not the way to do it. Do you ever notice the dudes that watch these people constantly almost never have relationships? Honestly, there's not a single male podcaster I could ever actively watch in my YouTube rotation. And the worst thing to me is a lot of these dudes be damn near middle-aged men arguing about this. This is the type of talk you should hear from a college gym locker room.
This is the type of thing it is that like that bothers me is the niggas who put out. This is why I can't stand podcasts, bro. Podcasts got a really bad negative connotation on like from my eyes, bro, because a lot of niggas go ahead and spew out bullshit, and because of the fact that not everybody with a mic deserves to talk, not everybody with a mic is deserving to sit there and say any level of advice, and especially you niggas it is that'd be on that red pill level of BS, thinking it is that content is funny. We talked about that with Sneeko. We talked about with that with a couple other things, which is why it is niggas ain't even fuck with the nigga anymore like that. Like you're too much of a flight risk at this point to where niggas got things that is that like they have businesses and brands and stuff like that that they want to protect, and it's just like, yeah, nah, at this rate, no, you out here, you're bullshitting. So this is why I say this wholeheartedly. Podcast is gonna start becoming a dead thing, bro. Like I get some people do some podcasts to be wholesome and find new things to talk about and everything like that. But people realize unless it is you already are a known person, podcasts really don't be popping off like that unless it is there's some level of controversy or there's a level of drama that goes in with this, and which is why it is that like that it will start to talk about like think of a podcast so where it is like you can, you have Joe Budden's podcast, you got a couple others where it is like niggas are controversy niggas as it is, and they start doing that. That's why they find it like that it works for them. So red pill niggas are just dudes who got money that start getting play all of a sudden and never touched some box in college and let alone high school. You can always tell a nigga it is who never really had some regular Q before. You can always tell. It's so bad, especially if a nigga it is got his first baddie. You can always tell when it is like it just be on some goofy shit, bro. You can always tell. Always tell.
Y'all niggas gotta worry about starting families. But I know for a fact every guy watching this knows at least one dude that's an insane rider to these guys. The next thing we got is COVID. Okay, breathe in and breathe out. I wanted to ease the list a little down with something we couldn't control. I swear, it doesn't even feel like it's 2024. I'm still in the same world of 2020. It's baffling. How are we closer to 2030 than 2016? COVID caused the Thanos blip, and ever since, I've been derealized from life. Everyone's social skills after COVID got nerfed a solid 10 centuries. And society at this point is the most antisocial it's ever been. Like, why is there kids out there genuinely scared to ask the cashier for ketchup packets?
It couldn't be me. It couldn't be fucking me, bro. Couldn't be me. And unfortunately, I have two siblings. It is my sister graduated in 2020, may I add. And then my brother's about to graduate actually next month. Next 2 months actually. Now, it is becoming very much of an issue to where it is that Gen Z does not know how to talk to people. They do not know how to have a level of engagement and speak with people like how it is that us millennials will do, and even the older generation. And this is furthermore to say this that Gen Z is actually looking a little bit more older than us millennials. I keep reminding y'all of this. Like, hey, listen, I am 32 years old and I don't even look like it. Even with the braces now, it had chipped off another 3 years out of what I already look like. And Gen Z doesn't have no level of social skills. They don't have a level of like personalisms or knowing how to talk to people or anything like that. They just say a whole bunch of colloquialisms, and it's just like, nigga, what the fuck is you on, bro? I have to deal with that a lot with like my siblings now because there's like a lack of drive, if you will. Yeah, like Gen Z's definitely stressed the fuck out, bro. I will say one thing about us millennials and Gen Z is that we are being more apprehensive about with having children. That's one thing, and as I can say that both generations are just like we see how it is the older generation is, and we don't want to be like that. We already stressed out as it is. You want me to bring a kid into the mix? With the economy that's going on as right now, rent prices is going up, groceries is going up, all types of bills is going up, and minimum wage and then wage just salaries in general isn't doing so. So what the fuck is like you want me to bring a child into this so I can just go right into the welfare, right? Go well into the system? No. I'm cool off that.
Y'all got it lost. Standing like he not tying asking for some barbecue sauce with your fries. And I blame COVID because I swear I don't remember it being this bad before. You don't gotta be super extroverted and introduce yourself to every person you meet on the street like you're Willy Wonka, but at least ask for the damn sauce packets. Also, our education from COVID times is definitely going to have a detrimental effect on us in the future. Like, let me ask everybody right here, do you have a genuine core school lesson moment you remember from Zoom class? Nah, nigga, that was for nap time. Society would have been better taking off 2 years of school than coming back to learn from where we left off. Now I understand why it's always been a favorite to do in-person classes rather than online classes.
We're coming into a society to where there's a lot more introverted people, and plus that whole level of like, don't get me wrong, there's a few people that I know, and a few of y'all in the chat that I know absolutely is introverted or an omnivert, if you will. Coming from somebody it is, I used to be outside all the time as a kid. I am an extroverted person. Now I have my moments to where it is I'm just like, hey, listen, like give me a second to just get myself together. I'll be going through some things, or depending on where it is that I'm at. If I'm in a spot to where it is I don't really feel like talking to niggas, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? And it's usually within the ghetto. Kind of like it happened literally last night. I had to go pick up a couple things. Went to Target. And niggas trying to like flag me down, like, hey, listen, how you doing? Don't talk to me. Oh, you want to talk? No. Sometimes depending on where it is that I'm at, I'm kind of like this. But on most of the normal spectrum, I am a very extroverted person. I've always been that way since I was like 2, 3, like, but not everybody's like that. And then you get into society now to where people are boasting about wanting to wanting to be like the most introvert, like the most like, and like, bro, nothing pisses me off more is people putting in competition of who's being the most boring. Like, stop, bro. Like, hey, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't even like talking to people like that. I don't even like people for real. Like, I don't even like going out. Like, like, why is it like you always gotta go out to like the club and everything like that? Like, bro, why can't you just like stay at home? I'm more than happy of just being within my own company, being at home and everything like that. Shut the fuck up. Nobody asked. Nobody asked for you to sit there and just let niggas know it is you're boring. Just say that. Just say that, bro. Just say that. And you're worse than niggas it is that say it is, oh, I move in silence. Shut up with that. Please. Niggas kill me with that shit, bro. They will have a whole level of introverted Olympics to see it is who's the most boring, bro. Like, go out there and live your fucking life. It's and I say this within women too, I say this for women as well. We're like, oh well, I like men like it better when it is a woman staying at home. I don't give a fuck what it is a man says. I don't give a fuck. If I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna go ahead and have fun, I'm gonna go ahead and travel, I'm gonna go ahead and live my fucking life. I'm not living my life for this nigga. I'm living my life for me. You know? That's why it is older generations tell most of the time us kids to live the life, because you don't want to be cooped up into the house wasting your good old little years just self-loathing. You don't want to do that. I wholeheartedly understand where it is they're coming from. I hate when people be talking about that like they don't have friends that actually, but they actually do, and they pretend like they don't have any at all because they go a day without talking to someone. Yeah, like I don't like that. I don't like that. And then there's people in this that honestly are just do not have no friends, but that's on them. That's their fault. That's their fucking fault, bro. I'm sorry. Like if you can't sit there and talk to some people or go outside, touch grass or anything like that, and if you stay all 24/7, 24/8 at home, that's on you, gang. There's nobody else's fault other than yourself.
And for assignments, not a single person was actually doing that. This was prime Warzone time.
Like, go
Prime
outside and go
Among
touch some
Us
grass.
time. No one was actually doing their work without cheating unless if they had to. The next thing we got is canceling. Now, we all know canceling. I don't really gotta explain it at all, and I have a whole video on it. But I know Gen Alpha's gonna make fun of Gen Z and millennials for being such with this. I would say the peak of cancellation times was like 2016 to
Oh god, now I gotta worry about Gen Alpha and the shit it is that they're gonna fucking say.
2022.
Holy hell, were those the worst times to be on the internet.
I'll never forget when Twitch banned the words of virgin and simp because people got offended by it. Me personally, I think they were trying to defend their main source of income, but that's just a theory. I miss you, Matt Pat. I'm so happy canceling has died down because if it was still like that to this day, I know I wouldn't be able to handle it. It was
No comment.
canceling has died down because if it was still like that to this day, I know I wouldn't be able to handle it. It was kind of weird that the solution was just to ignore people on Twitter. Who would have thought? The next thing we got is makeup. Now, hold on. Let me explain it, okay? I obviously could give a rat's ass if you want to put on the makeup that you bought with your own money. F it, you want to look like those weird-looking UK girls' makeup that's damn near blackface, go for it. But because of social media, it's causing little girls to be insecure about their looks. All they see is those videos that go like, doing my makeup tutorial plus story time. And they get fed that shit 24/7, so they think they gotta look like that all the time. I only learned this in high school too.
Hold on now. As somebody it is that is a woman, I understand it is a Tommy you speaking on this, but let's put this in this perspective that being a woman and figuring out what it is works for your body, works for your skin type, your skin tone, things it is that you like, that takes a while for us to not only figure out what it is that we like, for us to even get good at the shit as well, you know? And this is why it is that I say men should not have much of that high of input when it comes down to makeup, because they feel like it is like a lot of times it is when niggas say this shit is niggas know it is when a woman actually starts getting into her bag. She starts taking care of her skin. She starts putting on some makeup. She starts really getting into her feminine bag. That nigga is most likely not going to get chosen by her. So what's the best thing to do? Sit there and tell her this like, oh, nah, you don't need all that stuff. Like, you don't need all that makeup. Like, I like it when it is hair tied and chilling with no makeup on. That's when it is the prettiest. I hope it is. You don't take it wrong. It like some stupid shit like that because of fucking Drake, bro. And I'm telling you, as a woman, it is. You need to figure out what it is that you like. You need to figure out what it is that you like when it comes down to your style, your makeup, your hair. And it does take a while for us ladies to go ahead and figure this out. So is there a push for this? Yes. But the tools and everything like that is right there for people to learn. Now, mind you, I started doing makeup when 16. When I was buying it with my own money, but I had gay men teach me not only it is with makeup, how to walk within heels, how to vogue, all that stuff. Like it was gay men. It is. I was out here like, all right, let me help you. You know what I'm saying? And then of course, then going along within my years, figuring out the things it is that I like and what it is that works for me. But this is why I'm just like, some stuff it is that should be talked about with makeup, and then there's some stuff it is it's just like leave it alone. That's us. That's us, gang. Don't touch that.
Because my friend always had her makeup on professionally every day. Like, you would think she was going to a makeup artist before school every day. And she told me that she wakes up 2 hours before school just to get ready. High school's
listen,
already
she's
way
just
too
trying to look
early.
good.
You're adding extra time to that? And I think it's much more of a common thing that happens than guys think. Even on social media, most women will post some type of filter with their photos on, even if you can't tell. Nowadays, there's even reports of kids in like elementary school and middle school doing this. And I blame these damn TikTok. Getting all dressed in the makeup department for an activity like school sounds so tiring. You should be pulling up instead with funeral clothes on. The next thing we've got is men versus women. Now, I know this might sound confusing to place here because duh, it's always been a thing. But never have I seen a generation like ours have women hating men more than ever and men hating women more than ever. So I prepared this controversial statement targeted towards the internet on this topic. Excuse me, everyone. Men need women, and women need men. I know, so brave of me. I'll take my Nobel Peace Prize to go. There should be no reason 12-year-old girls are saying all men need to be put to death, and there should be no reason 12-year-old boys are saying all women are objects. Growing up, the most I thought as a kid was girls had cooties. And most of the time, the people who are extreme on each of these sides base everything off like a couple of experiences. Then they end.
Yeah, see, Babs, that whole level of just like fighting back and forth, stuff like that. That's why they regurgitated conversations, especially on Twitter. I don't resonate with those things at all. It's just like there's so much other things to worry about than what like fighting about with niggas, like niggas fighting over with us about. It's just it's so tiring, bro. It is exhausting. Like I'm gonna just start telling people to go take a nap, bro. Just just go get some sleep, bro. Go out and drink some water. Go out and get a proper meal. You know what I'm saying? You're not yourself when you're hungry. Like it's like men and women be going back and forth with each other at this rate. And I am trying to figure out how the fuck to get out of situations like that. Like this shit's so fucking annoying. I will take a nap on niggas so fast before it is that they start going back and forth with the bullshit.
End up in a rabbit hole they can never leave because it digs them deeper and deeper. Which is why you have those extreme hate all men girls and those extreme loser podcast dudes. It's funny because I swear we were taught growing up not to base things just off one experience. With their logic, if someone who's white has a couple of black people do some bad things to them, they could just go in public and be like, you know what? Maybe I do hate all black people. That's y'all, by the way. But it's annoying when stuff like this bleeds into real life. I've met people from both of these spectrums, and I'll tell you, it's not a fun experience. I'm never really around them for too long. I'm proud to say I've never said some TikTok brainwashing like I hate all women. It's one thing to joke about it, but to genuinely say I hate all men or I hate all women is
weird.
Very sad. And it feels like with our generation, I see it a lot more than I should. And the last thing we got is slang. Now, it's no doubt that our generation has the most slang than every other one combined, but that is the main problem. Slang gets way too overused nowadays, and it's kind of ruined the appeal to it. With early 2010 slang, it felt like people were saying it for years before it actually got overused. Like, I remember when everyone was saying YOLO and it went on for a solid amount of time. But nowadays, every word gets so used and abused, it starts to lose its meaning. Let's take, for example, glazing. This is one I noticed in real time. When people first started saying glazing about last year to 2 years ago, it was because someone was actually idling someone to the point of no return. But nowadays, if you say someone even inspired you online, you're getting a barrage of glazing comments. And we could take every single slang and apply the exact same logic to it. And that about wraps everything up. I think I've summed up everything pretty well. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Type shit. Hey, listen, Tommy, I appreciate you for the video, yeah, man. And I mean, yeah, after I go through the beeps Monday, it will be in Discord. But hey, listen, Tommy and NFG, shout outs to you, gang. Appreciate you. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. And shout outs to you at home. I'll catch y'all in the next video.